in front of Indigo. She is a 22-foot tiny house built by Teacup Tiny Houses in Lethbridge, Alberta. Great company, highly recommend them. So let's go inside and take a look. So here we are. So this is my living room. And then we've got the ladder to go up to my meditation loft. And then we have my kitchen. Back here is my washroom. Here we are. So, pocket door leading into a full washroom. It has the toilet. And then we have the stairs right here with lots of storage. Stairs going up to my bedroom loft. So that is my tiny house. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about signs. I have been into the woo-woo since I was a kid, and very much into zodiac and just spirit animals. So I'd always pay attention to them, but it's one thing to pay attention. It's another to actually listen, and I was not good at listening. I would pretty much only listen to the signs when it validated what I wanted to see. Then a year ago, I decided that I was going to make all my decisions based on the signs. A little backstory. For the first 40 years of my life, I did everything right, the way we're supposed to, right? Got good grades, went off to college, got a career, met a wonderful boy at 23, bought a house, got married, and all by the time I was 30. That was my goal, and I achieved everything through hard work, manifestation, and just staying very focused on my goals. I'm very goal oriented. And then from 30 to 40, I pretty much just lived out this life because I had achieved it, but it really wasn't sitting well with me. I believe it led to me getting sick and burning out last year. So since I wasn't happy with my current life, I thought, all right, I achieved everything. Let's see what happens when I only follow the signs of the universe. So a year ago, I said I was just going to make decisions based on where the universe leads me. Almost like as if I'm dancing with the universe and, I'm putting the work into the dance. However, the universe is the lead in the partnership here. Now, I'd always been fascinated with tiny houses, and I always wanted one. Funny enough, I came across a 40-foot gooseneck trailer, which I thought would be perfect. It already had the walls, it had propane furnace, it had AC, it was wired. It really, as I thought, it just needed to put in the furniture and convert it into a tiny house where I could also work as an office. So I went and looked at the trailer, and afterwards I said to the universe, okay, universe, if I'm meant to have this trailer, show me a fox. And then I went on with my way. I made plans with the bank. I got the loan for the trailer. I bought the trailer, and I realized, oh, I never saw a fox. But it just seemed too perfect, so I kept with it. I started working on it, which I really liked. However, ran into some financial difficulties being on sabbatical, and then COVID hit, so I wasn't again working, and it just didn't seem to be working out. And then what happened was my friend Jen from Teacup Tiny Houses was selling her show home, the Tagish 2, and reached out to me and some of her other friends, and the price was right. It's a beautiful home. So I looked into purchasing it, whether I could get a loan or not. I said, okay, universe, I'm listening this time. If I'm meant to purchase this tiny house, show me a sign. And within 5 seconds, I see this big, beautiful bird, and I'm thinking it's an owl, because I know whenever I see an owl, that means yes. But as it gets closer, I realize it's not an owl. It's actually a hawk. Now, this hawk gets so close that I could see its eyes. It's like we looked at each other in the eyes, and it flew with me beside my car for a while. And I thought, I wonder what a hawk means. I'll have to look that up when I get home. Then 10 seconds later, I happen to be turning onto my street, and right there in front of me crosses a big, beautiful red fox. Now, I don't get to see foxes very often at all, so this was not something that I would see on a regular basis. And I thought, oh my goodness, there's my sign. So when I get home, I look up what hawks are, and the hawk symbolizes pay attention to the signs of the universe. And then, of course, the red fox is the one that I had asked to see if I meant to do it with the original tiny, and I saw it. So I went ahead and I bought this beautiful home, had her shipped to me, and renamed her Indigo for Independent Girl on the Go. And I still had the big tiny, the 40-foot, but it just, nothing was working out. Even after getting this, I was going to still try and make it into an office, but I lost my parking spot. Turns out I had to gut it because it wasn't in as good of shape as what I originally thought. And it got to the point where I felt like I was beating a dead horse. So I just sold the big tiny yesterday. And lesson learned, I'm going to continue to listen to the signs of the universe. And I've done that for this entire year, and it has worked wonderfully. In fact, come Labor Day, I don't know about all of you, but I know for me, Labor Day is going back to school, and it's almost like a time to set new goals, almost like a new year. And I thought to myself, okay, you know what? I've had a fun year listening to the signs of the universe, and yeah, it's worked out, but it's time to get back to the reality. It's time to get back to setting goals and making lists and making stuff happen. And I thought to myself, well, why? I did that for 40 years. I achieved what I wanted. That's great. However, the best year of my life has been me just following the breadcrumbs of the universe. So why did I feel guilty, and why did I feel like I needed to get back to business and get back into hard work? So luckily, I'm continuing this little experiment and following the signs of the universe, and so far it's working out really well. But I just wanted to share my story with you on following the signs. And I'm sure, like I said earlier, we will definitely be revisiting this topic quite a few times on this show. Earlier we were talking about listening to signs, and I recently got asked if I wanted to rent out my tiny to someone. Now, I do live in a house now. I just moved out of my tiny house and in with my fiance, and we have the tiny on the property, but it's not being used at this time. So someone had asked me if they could move it to their property and rent it out to, or if I wanted to rent it out to a family member for them. Now, my heart and my gut say no, but logically, paying a mortgage on a tiny house that isn't being occupied does seem kind of silly, and it makes more sense financially to rent it out to someone to help cover the costs. But like I said, my heart and my gut say no. So next thought is this my ego? Is it that I don't want to share my tiny? Is it that I worry about the tiny being misused? So I'm here at Karen's place, and we are going to ask her pendulum, and my subconscious is going to translate into an answer for me to find out, is my heart and my gut with saying no, is that what I'm truly saying, or is it maybe more of an ego where I maybe just don't want to share? So let's set up and ask a pendulum. Okay, so we are going to use Karen's pendulum to ask whether or not it's in my best interest to consider renting out my tiny. Here we go. All right.
All right.
And remember, I'm basing all my decisions on following signs and my heart and my gut, and of course, whatever the universe presents as well. So, question is.
So yes, asking the question, and you have to be very specific in the way you ask the question. Okay, so if we get a clockwise motion with the pendulum, that means yes. And if we get a counterclockwise motion with the pendulum, that means no. All right, so let's see how it goes. So keep asking the question while it's taking its time.
Is it in my highest and best to rent out my tiny house to someone?
It's a big one. Oh my goodness.
Which coincides with how my heart and my gut was. Now, it makes no sense logically for me to pass up making money to help pay a mortgage down in a home I'm not even living in. However, it didn't feel right. So, listening to that sign, following the breadcrumbs of the universe, it just reiterated that no, it is not in my highest and best to rent out my tiny at this time. And that's what I'm going to go with.
And the interesting thing is, if you ignored your gut, your intuition, and the pendulum, you would probably find out why everything's saying you shouldn't. But the thing is, because you're not now going to rent out the house, you'll never know. But so it's hard to get that validation sometimes when you follow the signs, but you just have to trust. You know, your intuition, the pendulum said that as well, and you just have to trust that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to. So thank you for joining us today as I took you on a little tour of my tiny, and we talked about signs, following our gut instinct, and validating those feelings with a pendulum reading from Karen. So thank you so much, Karen, for helping me, really help me trust what I was feeling. I definitely do feel a lot more secure in my feelings and my actions now going forward.
It's all about trust, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And so stay tuned. Maybe we will get some answers as to why I am not going to be renting out my tiny at this time, and maybe we'll get some answers when it comes to that. Thank you again for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, remember to give us a thumbs up, like the button below, and if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe. We look forward to seeing you all again. Bye.
Bye.